Hey guys, Filmsuit here. So I just got back from the Master, and I will say I've learned two things. One, I'm not joining Scientology, and two, I am going to have a cocktail made out of paint thinner and jet fuel. Okay, so the Master is Paul Thomas Anderson's new film, and it's also the comeback of Joaquin Phoenix. It's his first role in the last 5 years, and Joaquin Phoenix plays this World War II veteran named Freddie Quyle, who who's experienced all these traumas and horrors between the war and his childhood, and he resorts to drinking all these deadly alcohol beverages that he makes with very questionable ingredients. Like I said, paint thinner being one, jet fuel being another one. Yeah, so his life takes a turn for both the better and the worst when he meets this charismatic man known as the Master, who leads this Scientology-like cult called the Cause. And the Master takes a liking to Quayle because of his drinks, but also the fact that he feels that Quayle could be his protege, and that Quayle could succeed him and lead the Cause in the future, and also help turn Quayle's troubled life around. Now, I will say, I'm going to be honest, I don't have a set grade for this movie because it's too thought-provoking to really grade. I mean, it has a lot of things I love, but it has a lot of things I'm still questioning and trying to adjust to. But at the same time, this movie, I think, is bound to make my top 10 of the year, because I found that a lot of movies that I've questioned and had to adjust to after a few days have made my top 10 in the past, like Drive, District 9, a few others. But this one is, yeah, it's definitely Paul Thomas Anderson's hardest movie to watch. Not because of content-wise, although some of the content in this movie is really out there, like especially in the first 20 minutes or so, when you see Freddy ruining his own life between getting himself fired in jobs for attacking people or poisoning people with his drinks, and there's also a scene where he takes a Rorschach test, and every Rorschach he sees is of the female anatomy, and that's pretty entertaining, but also disturbing. Yeah, no, this is an uneasy movie to watch because, one, it's not that entertaining. Like, those of you who are looking to see an entertaining movie, don't watch this. This is probably Paul Thomas Anderson's least entertaining movie. If you want his most entertaining movie, I recommend Boogie Nights. Now, so yeah, that's one reason. Two is, like I said, there is a lot to think about in this movie in terms of what the meaning is. Like, is this movie trying to be a movie about a reckless man seeking redemption, or is it a movie that's kind of like a historical fiction movie about Scientology? Like, it's all these different movies, types of movies rolled up into one. But I will say, this movie has a lot of strong qualities to it. Like, one being Joaquin Phoenix and Philip Seymour Hoffman. They give the performances of their careers in this movie. Joaquin Phoenix is absolutely terrifying to watch, just because he is such a he's such a reckless man, is such a troubled man, and you honestly don't know how you feel about him. Like, there are moments where you love him, but then there are moments you hate him. And then Philip Seymour Hoffman, he is very mysterious and just energetic in his performance. Like, there are moments where he's really charismatic, and you feel kind of sucked in. You're like, huh, maybe I should become a Scientologist. Wait, what happened to Tom Cruise? No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, but yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and the other thing that is great about him is his character. Actually, you get hints that he's just making this up as he goes along. Like, there are a couple of memorable scenes, like one where this guest at this party that Hoffman's invited to questions him and his beliefs, and what the cause is, and which basically causes Philip Seymour Hoffman unable to defend his beliefs scientifically and logically, and it makes him look like a fraud in front of everyone. And then there's another scene where he writes his second book, and this woman played by Laura Dern from Jurassic Park fame, she approaches Philip Seymour Hoffman and questions why the message in this book is different from the last book, and Philip Seymour Hoffman snaps at her because he doesn't have an answer. In other words, yeah, he's basically a phony, but also, and you could kind of tell he just, yeah, he's the biggest fraud in religion there is, and probably another reason why Tom Cruise hates this movie, because he believes that L. Ron Hubbard was a genius. But yeah, no, this movie, and also another thing to like about this movie's beautiful to watch. I mean, it's filmed on 70 millimeter format, which is 5 millimeters short of IMAX. So you got like a big wide shot lens for the entire movie that almost looks like it's IMAX, and there are some scenes that are just beautiful, filmed, like the entire first act that follows Joaquin Phoenix on his ship, and when he's working at the department stores. Those scenes are very beautiful and also very eerie to watch, and yeah, this movie was also very surreal and fascinating too. Like, part of it has to do with the Scientology beliefs, or like the practices. I've actually taken a psychological test, or a stress test, that I found out with Scientology, and when I was watching this movie, there's a scene where Philip Seymour Hoffman, where he asks Joaquin Phoenix a series of questions over and over again and makes him have to answer them until he's honest. I remember taking this test at a mall, and when I found out later it was a Scientology test, I was like, what? Yeah, no, this, so yeah, I was wowed by all the Scientology moments. That's another thing, though, it's kind of a downside. This movie didn't really explore Scientology a lot. You get a few key moments where it explores it, or explores the cause, but you never quite understand it. Like, I feel like that this movie should have focused on that a little more than it did, and also, but no, the scenes where it did were just fascinating and definitely thought-provoking. Like, there's another scene where, and all the scenes through Freddy, Joaquin Phoenix's point of view, are very surreal, and it makes you wonder even more. It makes you think even more. Like, there's one scene where he and the Master are at a party, and they host this party, and the Master gets this woman on a piano, and gets everyone in the room start clapping and stomping their feet on the ground while he dances and sings this piano tune. And from Joaquin Phoenix's point of view, all the women in the room are fully naked. And honestly, it's like, what the hell is this? It's not, like, I'm still trying to figure out what it is. It's probably just exploring how twisted Joaquin Phoenix is in the head, and also, yeah, it was probably, it definitely was very Lynchian, yeah, so there's that, and yeah, what else could I say about this movie? It was just crazy. It was, I mean, because it's not an entertaining movie at all, like I said earlier. And that's the other thing. This climax in the movie is probably the most uneventful climax out of all of P.T. Anderson's movies. Like, I mean, even like in his more thought-provoking movies, like Magnolia and There Will Be Blood, like, the climaxes in that were very clear. In fact, There Will Be Blood ends immediately after the climatic moment where Daniel kills Eli with a bowling pin. Oh, by the way, I am sorry if you guys haven't seen that movie, and I just spoiled the ending for you. Yeah, that, or the frog storm in Magnolia, where it just starts literally raining frogs from the sky, or the drug deal in Alfred Molina's house in Boogie Nights, which is one of the best climaxes of any movie I've ever seen. Yeah, this movie, The Master, the climax is like his most P.T. Anderson's most subtle one yet, because it's all about words and verbal exchange, and it's a little weird. This movie, like I said, it's hard to watch just because it's like very unclear. Like by the end of this movie, I actually questioned, was Joaquin Phoenix dreaming the whole time? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's definitely out there for sure, and it's the thinking man's movie, as it were. Yeah, and also I feel like that the message is pretty clear in this movie. Like everyone hyped it up to be like, this is the most thought-provoking movie ever, or what's it trying to be? I can't tell if it's trying to be this or this. It's trying to be a number of multiple things, but the clear message of the movie is religion does not help you find your path in life. You help you yourself find your path in life, and even the master says that to Freddy in the end, that he can't help him find his own path, that he has to choose it for himself. And but no, like the way this movie is written and edited and shot, it's very surreal, very biblical, very religious, kind of pretentious at times. I will say that, but Paul Thomas Anderson can be pretentious at times, and yeah, not his best work, but it's still definitely one of the best films I've seen all year. Just because it's screwing with my mind right now. I am honestly trying to still figure out the scenes to this movie and what they mean. Anyway, recommend seeing it, and stay tuned for tomorrow night when I review Looper.